Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel where we celebrate our unique expression of perfection. Because God didn't make duplicates, and the moment you measure yourself against the world, you hand your power away. I'm Brooke Taylor, and today we are going to talk about something that's discussed constantly, but is very rarely defined properly. We're going to talk about what actually makes a man high value. This term gets thrown around everywhere on social media and dating conversations in modern culture, but most people misunderstand what it actually means. So today, I want to break it down in a way that is clear, grounded, and aligned with what truly matters. And this is important for two reasons. First, it's important for women to understand what to look for in a man of value. Second, it's important for men to understand what a woman of value is actually looking for. I have my tea, so we're going to get started. One of the biggest misconceptions today is that a high value man is defined by external things. People assume a high value man is the man who makes the most money, or the man who attracts the most women, or the man who has the biggest house, the nicest cars, and the most visible success. But those things are not what determines a man's value. The true value of a man is determined by his commitment to vision. A man who is aligned with his vision is a man who has direction, he has purpose, and he has something that he is building, something that he is stewarding, and something that he is committed to creating in the world. And all men who are truly aligned with their vision are high value men. But there is another dimension to a man's value that people often overlook. A man's value is also reflected in the caliber of woman he chooses to submit to him and ultimately bear his children. Because the woman who chooses a man is responding to what she sees in him, his leadership, his character, and his purpose, and also his direction. A woman of value does not submit themselves to men who lack vision. A high functioning man also understands something very important about legacy. He does not procreate with a woman he does not intend to marry. Men of value understand the significance of their lineage. They understand that children are not casual, family is not casual, and legacy is not casual. And because they understand the importance of lineage, they value themselves accordingly. Now, on the other hand, when a man becomes disconnected from his vision, something very different happens. When a man is disconnected from his vision, he cannot be faithful to anything. Not his purpose, not his commitments, and certainly not to a relationship. A man who is disconnected from his vision becomes a woman's heartbreak, because without vision, there is no direction. And without direction, there's no stability. This is why it is extremely important for women to become skilled at vetting a man's vision. And when I say vetting vision, I'm not talking about listening to a man's words. Anyone can talk about their dreams. Anyone can talk about their ambitions. What matters is his body of work. As a woman, you should be able to evaluate a man's body of work and determine whether he is truly committed to the vision he claims to have. A man aligned with his vision consistently takes action that supports his goals. He demonstrates dedication through hard work, perseverance, and continuous improvement. He sets clear objectives. He remains focused even when challenges arise, and he prioritizes his vision in the way he lives his daily life. Over time, this commitment becomes visible. His accomplishments begin to reflect it. His progress begins to reflect it as well. And the direction of his life begins to reflect it. A man who is truly committed to his vision will show you that commitment, not through words, but through consistent action over time. And when you begin to understand this, something becomes very clear. A high value man is not simply a man who has resources. He is a man who has direction. He is a man who has purpose. And he is a man who is building something meaningful enough that a woman of value can confidently choose to align herself with it. Okay, so I'm going to divide everything up into 5 chapters. And so we're going to start with chapter 1. What is vision? Before we can talk about relationships, value, or alignment between men and women, we first have to understand something very important. We have to understand what vision actually is. Men should be committed to a vision, while women should align themselves with a man of vision. These two dynamics work together because men and women naturally thrive in different ways that complement each other. Men thrive when they are committed to their vision and purpose, while women thrive through intuition and expansion. And when these two forces come together, they create something very powerful. Vision is essentially the blueprint of a man's life. Men of vision are farsighted people. They are individuals who exercise forethought, meaning they think about the long term consequences of their actions so that their present decisions do not produce harmful results in the future. A man of vision is constantly asking himself questions like, where is my life going? What am I building? And what actions must I take today to produce the future I desire? Because of this foresight, men with vision are able to anticipate the future and understand what actions are necessary in the present to create that future. Now, this is where women come in. Women, through their intuition, have an incredible ability to expand upon that vision. Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively. It is a deep internal awareness that allows someone to perceive situations and possibilities without needing to logistically analyze every single detail. And when a woman aligns with a man who has vision, her intuition becomes incredibly powerful because it helps expand, refine, and support that vision. But these two forces must work together. Without intuition, vision can become stagnant. Vision alone sets direction and long term goals, but without intuitive insight, it may struggle to adapt to the complexities and nuances of the present moment. Intuition brings responsiveness, awareness, and the ability to navigate subtle dynamics that vision alone may overlook. But the opposite is also true. Without vision, intuition can become directionless. When intuition has no clear goal or purpose to channel itself toward, it can lead to indecisiveness or scattered decision making. This is why the balance between vision and intuition is so important. Vision provides direction, while intuition provides expansion and guidance. Together, they create alignment. This is also why commitment to vision is so important for men. When a man is truly dedicated to his vision, it naturally develops certain traits within him. These traits are often associated with what many people refer to as the divine masculine. The divine masculine represents masculinity in its most balanced and evolved form. It includes qualities like strength, leadership, integrity, courage, focus, responsibility, and creativity. Men who embody their divine masculine are deeply connected to their vision because they have a strong sense of purpose and direction in their lives. Their clarity of focus allows them to prioritize their goals and aspirations. They are resilient and determined. They're also able to overcome obstacles and setbacks without abandoning their vision. And because they are grounded in purpose, they are not easily swayed by distractions or temptations. They remain steadfast in their vision. Ultimately, men operating in their divine masculine are driven by something deeper than external success. They are guided by a deeper inner knowing of their purpose. And because of that inner knowing, they are committed to manifesting their vision in the world. Now we're going to dive into chapter 2. Money does not mean high value. I'm going to take a tea break. Now that we understand what vision is, we need to talk about something that often gets confused with vision, and that is money. Money does not automatically make a man high value. A man with vision does not allow money to compromise his legacy. We all know people who have a lot of money but very little integrity. We've all seen men who have financial success but lack discipline, commitment, or a clear direction for their lives. And that's why it's extremely important for women not to be distracted by money and risk their future. Now, don't misunderstand me. In a capitalistic society, money absolutely matters. Money allows you to build, provide, and create opportunities. It's a tool and it can be incredibly powerful one. But a lack of vision is far more dangerous than a lack of money. Because today, we see many men who have immense wealth, yet still face problems that money cannot solve. Money cannot fix a lack of discipline. Money cannot fix a lack of character. Money cannot fix a lack of vision. No amount of financial success can compensate for a man who lacks integrity and direction. This is why vision is so important. Vision protects legacy from being compromised by money. When a man has vision, it keeps him aligned, even when financial rewards begin to come into his life, because money does something very specific. Money magnifies who you already are. If you are disciplined, money will magnify discipline. If you are purposeful, money will magnify that purpose. But if you lack direction, money will magnify that lack of direction as well. And that's why you never want wealth to magnify something that could ultimately damage your legacy. For example, many men believe that once they acquire financial success, having multiple partners becomes a natural byproduct of that success. But that belief actually misunderstands where value truly comes from. Value does not come from having unlimited options. Value comes from the discipline you exercise within those options, because discipline is what protects your legacy. A man with vision understands that the choice he makes with his power, influence, and resources will determine the future he creates. And because of that, he does not allow money to compromise the life he is building. A man guided by vision will never let money compromise his legacy. Now, this brings us to something important for women to understand. Many women naturally operate in what we call hypergamy, which simply means that we have the instinct to choose a partner who can elevate our lives. And that instinct is not wrong, but hypergamy should never be directed towards money alone. It should be directed towards vision. So, here's a secret tip for my ladies. If you want to distinguish yourself from the majority of women, do not submit to a man's money. Submit to his vision. Any woman can submit to money. That is easy, and it's what majority of women do today. But only a rare percentage of women are capable of recognizing and aligning themselves with a man's vision. And that distinction absolutely matters. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Submitting to money means prioritizing financial gain or material wealth above everything else. This is something we see very commonly today. It can show up in the form of choosing partners primarily based on their financial resources without ever considering their character, their direction, or the long-term future they are building. But submitting to vision is very different. Submitting to vision means aligning yourself with a shared purpose and direction. It means recognizing a mission, values, and a future that extends beyond immediate personal gain. A woman who aligns with vision is not only looking at what a man has today, she is looking at what he is building. Submitting to vision often requires something deeper than material attraction. It requires commitment. It may require investing time, energy, and belief into something that is still in the process of becoming. Sometimes that means supporting projects, goals, or relationships that may not provide immediate financial gratification, but they contribute to something far greater, a meaningful legacy and shared purpose. And this is where discipline becomes essential. Because at the end of the day, remember this: a king with no discipline is simply a weak man surrounded by luxury. Okay, guys, let's dive into chapter 3. How should a man of vision satisfy his sexual desires? This chapter was inspired by someone asking me that. One of the most misunderstood conversations today is about sexual desire, vision, and purpose, especially when it comes down to men. So the question is, how should a man of vision satisfy his sexual desires? A man who is truly connected to his vision does not pretend his sexual desires do not exist. He doesn't suppress them, he actually refines them. A man aligned with vision understands that sexual desire was never meant to be scattered across many places. It was meant to be fulfilled through alignment. Alignment with one woman, spiritually, emotionally, and purposefully. And when that alignment exists, it naturally leads to the covenant. Sex was never designed to be casual. Consensual sex and aligned sex are not the same thing. Two people can consent to intimacy, but that does not mean they are aligned in vision, purpose, or covenant. And when intimacy happens without alignment, it doesn't create clarity, it actually creates confusion. Now, I know this is a controversial perspective today, but personally, I do not endorse or believe in the idea of sexual liberation for men or women. Because when men engage intimately with women who are not aligned with their vision, it does something very specific. It actually diminishes clarity of his purpose. And for women, sexual liberation is often perceived as freedom. But in reality, it can create a deceptive sense of empowerment while entangling women in the mental, emotional, and spiritual complexities that come from non committal encounters. A man who is connected to vision begins to understand something important. Vision actually refines and focuses a man's sexual appetite. When a man is aligned with his calling, he does not scatter his seed, he stewards it. Because reproduction without vision does not create legacy, it creates confusion. Another thing people often confuse is influence and vision. This is going to make sense in a moment. They are not the same thing. Influence draws attention, vision gives direction. Influence is loud, while vision is focused. One entertains the crowd, the other builds a legacy. A man led by vision is not trying to impress the world. He's trying to build something that lasts beyond him. Now, when we talk about relationships, it's important to understand something about God's original design. God's design does not change just because humanity struggles to live it out. His intent remains constant. From the beginning, the design was very clear. God created Adam, then he created Eve for him. One man, one woman. That was the divine order. But then came the fall. The fall, symbolized by the apple, marked the moment humanity departed from God's perfect will. From that moment on, humanity began operating in what we like to call God's permissive will. This is where God allows things to exist, not because they align with his heart, but because human beings chose them. This is where things like polygamy emerged. Multiple wives were never God's original design. They were a result of humanity descending into permissive living after sin entered the world. And this is where a lot of people get confused. They say things like, maybe humans are just naturally polygamous. But if you say humans are polygamous by nature, then you are also saying God is polygamous by nature. And that is simply not true. We are made in his image, and God is singular in his commitment and covenant. Another danger today is the language people use. You'll hear people say they want to practice monogamy, but monogamy was never meant to be something you try on like a performance. By God's design, it's not something you practice, it's who you were created to be. Faith at its core is about reconciliation. It's about being restored back to God's original design for humanity. It is not about adapting to cultural norms and redefining morality based on the times that we're in today. It's about returning to the blueprint that was established in Eden. Now, this is where the conversation about sexual urges become important, because urges do not define your nature. They reveal something else. They reveal a lack of consecration. When a man feels constantly pulled by lust or distraction, it is not proof of his nature. It is proof that he has not fully aligned with who he is meant to be in God. Consecration means being set apart. And when a man is consecrated, he doesn't follow urges, he follows purpose. His desires become disciplined, his appetite becomes refined, and his focus becomes clear. Just because something feels natural does not mean it is divine. Lust is not your true nature, it is your flesh speaking. After the fall, humanity began worshiping the flesh instead of walking in the spirit. But what is truly natural is God's order, whether we feel it or not. And this is why monogamy often does not feel natural to the fallen man, because the fallen man has made the flesh his God. But to the man who walks in the spirit, monogamy is not a restriction. It is clarity, and it is alignment with heaven. So, how do you recognize a man who is truly led by vision? Again, he is farsighted, he sees the future, and he makes decisions in the present that actually protect and expand that future. He desires one woman, his wife, and he lives in a way that protects the legacy he is building. He refuses to compromise. He refuses to scatter his attention. He also refuses to be depleted by distractions. A man who reproduces while disconnected from vision does not produce legacy. He actually produces confusion. Monogamy is not about biology. It is about connection. It is about being tethered to God's vision for your life rather than being driven by temporary urges. And when a man is truly aligned with his vision, something powerful happens. His desires stop controlling him. They become disciplined by purpose. He stops scattering his seed and he begins stewarding it. He also understands that influence may attract attention, but vision builds a legacy. Now we are going to dive into chapter 4, guys. Vision requires fidelity. This is actually one of the most important chapters because a man who cheats is not a man of value. High value men do not cheat. And I want you to really understand this because it's popular, unfortunately. So this is very important. And I want you to really understand this, not from an emotional place, take your emotions out, but from a structural, foundational place. A man who cheats is unstable in all of his ways. Because if a man cannot be committed to his word, what makes you think he can be committed to his vision, let alone a wife, let alone kids? He can't. Vision requires discipline. Vision requires restraint. Vision requires alignment. And cheating is the opposite of all of that. Men who operate with multiple women are operating from their primal state. And the primal state requires no conscious awareness. It requires no discipline. It requires no higher thinking. It's instinct, it's impulse, it's a reaction. And this is what separates us from animals. So if you want to act like an animal, be my guest. I'm just kidding. Okay, back to the topic. Okay, functioning from a place of discipline, from a place of intentionality, and from a place of vision, that requires high level consciousness, a high level of consciousness. It requires a man to govern himself. And if a man cannot govern his desires, again, he cannot govern his life. Now, here's where it gets deeper. Attracting a woman based on your resources is very easy. Money will always attract attention. Status will always attract options. But attracting a woman based on your vision, that requires depth. Because while all women may be drawn to your resources, plenty of women will be drawn to your resources, only a high value woman is drawn to your commitment to your vision. She's not impressed by what you have. She's aligned with where you are going. And most men don't understand this because society has conditioned them to believe that success looks like having access to a multitude of women, more attention, more options, and more validation. So they settle into entertaining multiple women because it's easier and it feeds the ego. It satisfies the flesh, but it doesn't build anything. It actually leaves him more depleted. Sexual promiscuity dulls intelligence because it keeps a man operating in his lowest, most reactive state. There is no intentionality there, no direction, and absolutely no refinement. But monogamy is discipline. Monogamy is focus. Monogamy is alignment. It symbolizes unity and oneness. A man choosing to direct his energy instead of dispersing it. We are not just physical beings. We have evolved beyond our primitive state. We are meant to think, to feel, to build. And the infidelity in a man is not just about women. It is a direct reflection of his disconnection from his vision. A man who is clear about his purpose, a man who is grounded in where he is going, and a man who understands what he is building does not move scattered. He does not move divided, and he chooses one direction. And he aligns everything in his life with that direction, including the woman he chooses. A man seeks monogamy when he is clear, when he is disciplined, when he is committed. So understand this clearly. Fidelity to a man's vision will always translate to fidelity in his life. And a man who is scattered in his intentions will always be divided in his commitment. And you cannot build anything meaningful with a man who is divided. Okay, let's dive into chapter 5. High value means more access, not more options. High value men have more access, however, they have fewer options. Let me explain. An increase in access does not equate to an increase in the value of women. This is where a lot of men get confused. A man with greater resources, whether that's money, status, influence, or even just presence, can attract a multitude of women naturally. That level of visibility will always draw attention. It will always create opportunities. It will always create access. But access is not the same thing as options. What it actually creates is the illusion of options. Just because more women are around does not mean more women are aligned. That distinction will either build a man's life or completely destroy it. Because one thing that men forget is that a woman holds immense power in a man's life. A woman can either amplify your strengths, sharpen your focus, and extend your legacy, or she can slowly dismantle everything you've worked for. Your peace, your clarity, your direction, your discipline, all of it. So for a man of value, this is not a game. This is not about entertainment, and this is about discernment. Just because more women are attracted to you does not mean those women have your best interests in mind. And it definitely does not mean they are aligned with your legacy. This is where the majority of men fall short. They get distracted by the attention, they get caught up in the access, and they start to believe they have options. But in reality, their life's work is on the line. The woman you choose will either magnify your life or she will quietly destroy it. And destruction doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like distraction, sometimes it looks like misalignment. Sometimes it looks like a woman who pulls you away from your purpose without you even realizing it. That's why vetting is everything, especially for men. A high value man does not just accept access. And I look at that as well as a woman. He evaluates alignment. He understands that who he chooses matters more than how many chooses him. His options are not increasing. They are actually becoming more specific and more refined, and as well as more intentional. There are very few amount of women who are truly going to align with that vision. A woman who will submit to your vision, not your ego and not your money, as well as not your image, but your vision. Your vision. That is rare. And that is actually what truly matters. Remember, when a man gives access to a seed to a woman who has no intention of aligning, building, or submitting to what he is creating, he is not multiplying his value. He is literally diminishing it. He is showing no appreciation for what he carries while simultaneously depreciating it. And a man who does not protect his value cannot expand it. So please understand this. High value does not mean more women. High value means higher standards. It means discernment, and it means restraint. It also means choosing alignment over access every single time. Until next time, guys, remember to stay perfectly you, and I'll see you in the next video for part 2.